1 in 7 people in the world don't get enough to eat. Probably 1 in 3 don't get enough of the nutrients they need to live a healthy and productive life. We got a very serious malnutrition problem in the world. Part of that problem can be resolved by understanding the causation. How does the food system affect nutrition? How does it affect human health?
The workshop we had today is aimed primarily at providing an overview of all these indicators that exist out there from the perspective of operational program managers who would like to use one of these existing indicators or perhaps develop a new one for the purpose of monitoring the nutritional impacts of their projects.
The Household Dietary Diversity tool captures the variety of foods and food groups that any one member of a household consumes during a 24-hour period. And it is a measure more of an economic access to food rather than the nutrient quality of the diet.
The Household Hunger Scale is a tool for measuring food deprivation at the household level. We think it should be quite useful for allowing practitioners and researchers to determine what are the most cost-effective ways of addressing these problems of reduction of hunger in households.
So what is the food consumption score? Well, in its simplest format, it's basically a weighted average of food groups. So you have 8 food groups. Within those food groups, you have individual food items. With all of the discussions today, for me, it's not about taking an indicator and saying, here's the number, that's it. It always has to be taken in the context of where you're working, what your other information tells you, because you will always have some other information.
The Coping Strategies Index is a way of getting at the question of, do people have access to adequate food? What it does is simply indicate the overall level of coping that a household has to do, and the higher the level of coping, the more food insecure the household is. The way in which any of these indicators can be applied in a situation where you're working on a relatively long-term intervention like an agricultural program, you need to have a pretty clear idea of the way in which that intervention is going to impact on ultimate indicators like child nutritional status or BMI or whatever it is, and then know all of the things that might influence that along the way. So you want to have several indicators.
In fact, there are win-wins. There are complementarities that can be captured if we fully understand how to do it. And that, I believe, is why it is so important that the World Bank and many other international organizations are prioritizing improved nutrition, improved food security, and making sure that the food system makes whatever contributions it can to achieving those goals.